Alright, so this video is my first impression about Pwan. And Pwan happened to be a real estate company which deal in the sale of land and houses in Nigeria, and I recently found out they also operate abroad. But the essence of this video is to actually review, to actually let if you are hearing about Pwan for the first time, or if you have been interacting with them. I've actually interacted with them also, but this video is just like a review to actually know if what they're actually doing, or to actually know if they what they claim to do is actually true, right? So remember I said they are a real estate company that deal in the sale of landed properties, houses, lands in Lagos, probably anywhere in some states in the country, but I think I'm familiar with Lagos. And but this is my first impression because a friend of mine told me about them. Actually, that's the first time I heard about them, and he was like, oh, is this, is that, and he actually brought up a compensation plan to me, telling me about a buy to sell later offer that Pwan offers, meaning they allow you to actually buy a landed property, then sell back to them within a period of time. Then of course you get a certain return or ROI within a period of time. So let's say I buy a landed property today, then in about 3 months time I can try to sell back to the same company, Pwan, and of course I get back my money and some interest on it. So this actually caught my attention since it actually has this ROI stuff, and anything that comes with ROI, I like paying a lot of attention to it to actually know how this money is being generated, right? And of course to actually see their legitimacy. So that's why I decided to take a closer look at Pwan, and of course does this review about Pwan. So Pwan happens to be a real estate. I'm saying this for the God knows how many times. Okay, so they happen to be a real estate company, and they claim to be around for about 10 years now. And I heard that and I was like, wow, that's a lot. But then someone like me, I like to actually be able to verify information, and I wanted to verify if this 10 years is actually true, because now this is money affairs and it is important that we know what we are getting our hands into, if we have to give our money to someone and of course get returns after a period of time. So I was like, okay, can we verify this 10 years? And I had to travel. I left Lagos and I went to I left Ekiti and I went to Lagos. I was supposed to go to one of their offices at Lekki or thereabout, but I checked on the map that day and the hold up was choky. So alternatively, I visited the one at Alaba, right? So the one at Alaba, it's a small store though, just for walk-in customers to kind of make inquiry. And of course what I wanted to do there was to make inquiry, not to do anything serious. So I met with a woman there, and I told she told me about the company and what they do, and I was like, okay, it's not bad, it's a good thing, at least it's a good thing. Real estate is the future now, you know. So I told her okay, she told me that the platform has been around for about 10 years, and I was like, oh well, that's good, but how can I verify this information? But sadly she has no information also to verify that. So and I was like, oh well, and she's a staff, she works there, so I was like, this company has been around for 10 years and you can't tell me how to verify. Wow, well, that's too bad. But before then I actually did a little bit of online research about Pwan, and the first time I came across them anywhere on the internet was 3 years ago, right? I came across their first video on the internet, which was posted 3 years ago, and that video was just kind of talking about the business model and like kind of introducing the business to the masses, right? So, and that looking at that video, it could I could just conclude that Pwan started existing about 3 years ago, but they kept saying 10 years, and I was like, okay, 10 years is not bad, but I want to verify this information. And sadly, no one could give me the information even up to the moment of making this video, right? But that's not a big deal. At least you're already in operation. Let's just even say the 10-year was legit, but I don't care now. But if you're in operation, are you actually regulated by any regulatory body in Nigeria? Even excluding the fact they also claim they operate abroad, and they also have a regulatory body that does that. They claim that if they are not regulated, they won't be able to operate abroad, and to some extent that's true. But I actually asked if I could verify their registrations, but somehow they were withholding this information. But the one that I visited at Alaba showed me some certificate like the CSC, and I was like, oh, CSC doesn't prove legitimacy of a business. CSC is just a registration to actually secure a business name, right? And you can't show me a CSC certificate and tell me you are legitimate, because anyone can get a CSC certificate so easily. I might not even leave my house and I'll still get that certificate. So, but she was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Then she showed me some certificate from SCOM, right? And I think this SCOM is SCOM, right? So, and I was like, okay, that's good. This is still more okay. At least it is kind of this SCOM actually comes out of EFCC. I think it's a session of the EFCC, and I was like, okay. I took that certificate and tried to verify on the SCOM website, and sadly I couldn't find anywhere Pwan was mentioned on their website. And of course, with the registration number that was on that certificate I saw, I wasn't able to verify such information. And I was like, okay, this certificate you give me, it's nice. I like the fact that, okay, you said you have this certificate from SCOM, but I can't actually verify this. Oh, please tell me how I can verify this. Maybe, and they were like, oh, I don't. I was like, okay, no problem. I didn't get what I went there to do that day. Then I had to contact someone again. I joined one of their Zoom meetings and I asked the same questions. How can I verify they've been around for 10 years? And which regulatory body is regulating you guys? The person gave me a funny answer, and I'm still laughing at the moment, because he told me I should just search Pwan on Google, that Pwan is on Google, and if Pwan is on Google as #1 real estate, then they are legitimate. And I was like, what? So the fact that I can search Pwan on Google and find Pwan on Google, does that prove that Pwan is actually legitimate, or has Google become a regulatory body for a business in Nigeria? And of course, I was trying to prove this, and of course make them know that Google doesn't regulate any business. Then they were like, that they have regulatory body. I was like, okay, tell me this regulatory body. They couldn't mention. They were like, I should come to their office. I was like, so I should leave Ekiti again to come to Lagos, but you said you are operating globally. So let's say I'm somewhere in Canada and I need such information. I have to fly down to Nigeria, then go to Lagos to actually have this information. But this is a red flag for me, for those who want to interact with Pwan. It's a very red flag for me, because this is money affairs, and it's important for us to be careful to know where our money is actually going to. So if these informations are something that should actually be made public, though the person said something that, okay, they have the information, but they can't, it is not for the public. And I was like, you want me to invest with you, but you can't make such information public to me to actually know if you are regulated by a regulatory body, maybe SEC or something. And the person was like, I have to come to their office to see and I was like, okay, what is the name? He couldn't mention. So it's actually sad for me, because I believe these are information that should be available to the masses, for us to be able to at least trust where our money is going to, and to ensure that our money is not just being recycled from one person to another, and to make sure that it's actually put in good use, right? Because there are a lot of businesses these days that put up something to the masses, then at the back end they are doing something that they're just recycling money, just to ensure this, and to ensure that, and what will actually ensure this is this regulatory body, right? And they don't have, so at the moment of making this video, I don't think they have. At least they didn't provide it to me. So even if they had, the fact that they didn't provide it to me also shows that they don't have. So if they really had, it should be made public, so that investors can actually know these things, and of course increase trust. And something I remember, something when I visited the Alaba, when I was asking these questions, the person was kind of looking tired of my questions, that at least nobody has ever asked such question. I was like, well, this is me, and for me to actually put in money somewhere, or tell someone to put in money somewhere, I need this information. And the person was like, oh, nobody has ever asked. And that brought that thing she said actually makes me see why people actually fall for scams, because most people don't actually do a dig deep before they actually put their money somewhere. They just go somewhere and just put their money. And I was like, okay, well, me, I'm different. I need to have this information before I can actually interact with your company. But they don't mind. They don't mind, since majority of the people are actually just putting their money there in billions and millions, and they don't mind if they're actually regulated. So we've seen businesses like this that have come in the past and have gone into thin air today, just to ensure that our funds are secure. I'm putting this question to Pwan or those Pwan affiliates. If you can give me this information, I'm going to really appreciate. And of course, until then, if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. What we do here is to bring to you firsthand about possible make money online opportunities, and of course let you know if something is legitimate or not. So if these are what interests you, consider subscribing, and of course giving this video a like, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.